Hey traders, this is BA here with a short video on the options chain. So let's get started. All right, we're going to take a look at the options chain, duration periods, implied volatility, and liquidity, all with the end state for our learning objectives, just so that you will be able at the end of this be able to find the options chain in your trading platform. Differentiate between the trading, the duration cycles or the expiration cycles, determine the implied volatility and what that means, and identify liquidity issues. So let's get started. I can find my cursor. There we go. Okay, so let's take a look at, we'll start out with Microsoft here. And let me compress everything. So, hey guys, we're using Thinkorswim here. That's my trading platform of choice. Whatever platform you use, I'm sure it probably has similar characteristics. If you're just starting out, that's what this video is designed for. So, options chain on Thinkorswim can be found either in the Trade tab under All Products or under the Analyze tab, Add Simulated Trades. So that's kind of what it looks like. Again, I'm going to cycle back to the Trade tabs and All Products. There's Options Chain. There's the Analyze tab with Add Simulated Trades. So let's go right to the Trade tab. Let's open up Options Chain, and there it is. So guys, the Options Chain is nothing more than it gives you a good visual of all of the option expiration cycles. Most of the stocks we trade options in, I will say 90% of them have weekly options on them. We stay in very liquid products. I have a list of stocks that we trade religiously. That's what is part of this service, to keep you in stocks that have very good tight bid-ask spreads. So let's look at the options chain. So you will see here, guys, that weekly option expirations are highlighted in Thinkorswim in yellow. Monthly expiration cycles are highlighted in white. And as we move forward in time, there's just not enough action in the weeklies to continue to roll these weekly options all the way down the chain here. So they'll keep leapfrogging as we get closer in time and add the weekly series. So anyway, option chain, this is all this is. It just tells you, shows you the expiration cycles for the options in the whatever underlying you're trying to trade. All right, so this is also referred to as duration cycles. Now, inside, once you open up the option chain, one of the other things that you're going to see if you swing way over here to the right is all of these figures and percentages. These are referred to as the implied volatility ratings for the options in this particular option expiration cycle that you're dealing with. So for example, this 19 January 18 cycle, now what the numbers in parentheses indicate the number of days left in this expiration cycle. So there's 27 more days. I'm doing this on the weekend, so there's 27 more days left in this expiration cycle. The at the money options are going for roughly approximately 16.5%. Now, what does that actually mean? Well, the implied volatility just tells you, gives you an indication of what theoretically how volatile these options or this stock could perform going forward. It's best when you do a comparison. So just taking a look at these at this particular time means absolutely nothing. So for example, I'm going to switch over here to the SPY, S&P 500 ETF, and we'll look over here and you'll see these are in the single digits. All right, so the January, let's compare apples to apples. The January 18 expiration cycle with 27 days to go has an implied volatility of 10%. All right, let's go back to Microsoft. And that same cycle, this one is 16%. So it's slightly, it's telling you that it's projecting that Microsoft is going to be slightly more volatile than the S&P 500. There's also another measure of volatility that you can reference in this platform, and if you will go here under underline, you'll see this, and other platforms probably have access to the same data. If you expand that down, go to the far right, you'll see the stocks beta. This Microsoft is 1.02, meaning it's probably, they're saying, a roughly 2% more volatile than the S&P 500. That's what the beta's referencing there. So everything's in line. You know, the options in Microsoft are priced where it's more volatile than the S&P. The beta confirms that. So that's where you get those readings. So far we know where the options chain is in our trading platform Thinkorswim. We know how to expand to find out where the option chain is actually located. We know that there are weeklies, that there are monthlies, and we know that this platform in the parentheses gives us the number of days to expiration. We also know implied volatility, and we know to make a comparison if you're new to the game. Where this becomes really important is for option sellers. We're primarily buying options right now in this environment, so it's just a good reference point, but just make sure you know what that is. Now the other thing I want you to look at is liquidity. Again, I keep you in very, very liquid instruments so that you don't have to worry about this. But again, let's go back to the SPY. And let's open up that 19 Jan cycle again. And let's go to the at the monies. Now once you expand this, we're going to have another class with strike prices and everything. So we're going right down to the at the monies. Keep in mind, compress this, the S&P 500 ETF, the SPY, is going for 267.36. So I went to the at the monies, and I'm looking at, I'm going to queue up a buy. So I'm buying the 267.50 strike price. The asking or the offer is at 249. The bid is at 242. I could more than likely buy it at the mid price, which is 246. So just keep that in mind, guys. At 246, I could probably trade all day long, which is 3 cents away. 3 cents in between either side of this right here. All right, 3 cents. Let's go to a stock like, and keep in mind, it's $267. Let's go to First Solar. Let's just take a look at that. All right, we're in that cycle again. I'm going to collapse this so you'll see no hokey business. Hey, take a look at this though, guys. First Solar's implied volatility's 35 in this 19 Jan cycle. So remember, we were at like 10% for the S&P, so this thing's at least 3.5 times more volatile. Hey, we can open up the beta and find out it's got a beta of 1.87. So this thing's roughly, well, this one says it's roughly 80% approximately, or theoretically 80% more volatile than the S&P. More than likely is. Let's just look at the bid-ask spread here in First Solar. So we're going to go down here. It's trading for, the mid price on this about 69, 70 bucks somewhere. So we're going to go to the 69 at the monies. We're going to try to buy. So just keep in mind, guys, S&P 500 was a $267 stock, we'll call it. This is a $70 stock, and the bid ask on this thing is from 278 down to 233. So that's $45, whereas the S&P's spread was only I think $6. So just a huge difference, guys, in a stock that has a spread like this right here. So First Solar is definitely on the verge of whether we would trade it or not. Options, I would take a look at it during market hours, make the call then. But you start getting a lot wider than this, and you have to essentially be right on the money directionally every time you go up to bat. It's hard to get around the wide bid-ask spreads in this thing. So so all that's saying is somebody's willing, they're asking $2.78 for the option contract to trade that contract, but the guy's bidding $2.33 on it. You're going to strike a price somewhere right in the middle. So so the thing has to, if you're buying this call option, it has got to go up, you know, roughly 30 cents. What are we, 22? It's roughly got to go up 22 cents higher than 278, if you can imagine that, for you to break even on this thing. So that's a nice little move in the option, in order to try to get over that. All right, guys, let's recap what we have picked up so far. I think we hit our objectives. So you know where to find the options chain. You can differentiate between the duration periods, determine the implied volatility. We showed you that. We showed you a couple of things. Identify any liquidity issues. Again, folks, here at the service, the daily TMB report, trading tops and bottoms, we will keep you in liquid stocks to trade options in. Okay, that's a wrap for this little video series. So hope this helped. This is BA signing out.